You have forgotten how the martial arts are supposed to work. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, this is Sensei Anthony and welcome to the Real Karate Podcast where we discuss all things martial arts, training philosophy, styles, whatever. We talk about martial arts in a real and practical way. So, now that we got that out of the way, I think a lot of you have forgotten how the martial arts are supposed to work, right? When I say that, I look at the trend. Well, it's not a trend at this point. It's an accepted norm. In the past 20 years, it's been 20 years about at this point, people have accepted wholesale in America that the best way to protect yourself is to involve yourself in as many different arts as possible so that you can cover all of your bases. Now, I understand that thinking. This came around way before mixed martial arts arrived in this country. This is not a new philosophy. It's not a new theory. Bruce Lee talked about it in the 60s. A lot of Kung Fu styles in China were mixed, whatever the case may be. But when I see people talk about making their martial arts more practical, what I see them doing is making their martial art address a modern sporting framework. Let me tell you what I mean. I hear people say that boxing is the root of the best hand striking techniques. Now, I love boxing. I do. I watch it. I've learned from it. All of this stuff. But if you have forgotten that martial arts at their core should allow you to have a much better chance against a larger, stronger, heavier, more aggressive opponent, then you've missed the plot of this movie, right? If I have a 120-pound man that comes to train with me, great. But I'm not going to teach him strictly boxing punches to help him protect himself from a 200-pound aggressor or a 120-pound woman or whatever the case may be. Trading punches with someone with that much size advantage over you is a terrible idea. It's like I tell my kids, do you know why tigers chase deer and not the other way around? It's because the tigers are bigger and stronger. Don't allow yourself to believe that hype about size not mattering in a fight. It does. It doesn't determine the winner, but it certainly has its advantages, right? Which is why when the smaller person wins is such a major accomplishment, right? Now let's go back to what I was talking about. When you're talking about defending yourself, I use boxing because in the modern day world of closed-toed shoes, concrete, things like that, being able to move a certain way can certainly be helped through boxing training. In the old days, they wore sandals. There were no closed-toed shoes. There was cobblestone or stone paths, but not concrete as we know today. So if you're using boxing as a framework for footwork and defense in the modern reality, that's fantastic. And even the ability to throw punches in combination, defensive head movement, all of these things, spectacular. But let's not forget that boxing is a sport where there's a referee, where the combatants usually have the same amount of experience in that sport, and they're going to be roughly the same size. Guaranteed, that's the nature of the sport. When I teach self-defense, I use boxing footwork and angle as a way to deliver the kind of hand strikes that can incapacitate a person even if that person is much larger than you are. And that's the whole point. I don't want some 150-pound person, male or female, trading punches with a 250-pound one. No, physics is on the side of the larger person if you're talking about percussive impact, okay? You want to use boxing to allow you to do the things that can even the fight regardless of how big the person is. Gouging the eyes, attacking the throat, palming the ear, ripping the face. Remember, these are survival techniques. And that's why I say some of you guys have forgotten what martial arts is supposed to be about. It's not about winning a fight. It's for surviving the situation where the person across from you has the physical, geographical, and advantage of surprise, right? I've seen people skilled in boxing, the second they get frightened or things get out of their control, they forget to box. They start throwing punches at that primal level. And that's not a knock against it. It happens to the best of us sometimes, right? But what I'm saying is, remember what the martial arts are for. I don't want you to block a punch and throw a punch back if this person's a lot larger than you are. I want you to block the strike as best you can and stick your fingers in their eyes. I want you to hit them in the face with your phone. Yes, you can get another phone. I want you to take your keys after you've blocked, and I want you to dig them into that person's rib cage or their cheek or come down their face. And I know that sounds violent, but martial arts should give you the tools to protect yourself in a situation where someone else has chosen when this conflict is going to happen, non-consensual, and they have a physical size and strength advantage. If you're not training that way, then you're kind of missing the point of what it is you're trying to achieve. Now, I don't want to hear about I'm taking martial arts just for the discipline, just for the flexibility. That's great. But those things are a byproduct of the training for a self-defense situation against a person with advantages. That's it. I know there's kata, there's forms, there's weapon techniques. Fantastic. But if that's why you join, God bless and Godspeed. I totally understand that. And I'm not talking bad against you. I'm saying, remember, if you commit yourself to learning a martial art, remember the purpose, the main purpose. All of these other benefits come because you're studying and training in ways to defend yourself against a larger, stronger, angry, perhaps altered attacker. Don't lose the essence of karate. Don't think that just because you have a good jab, cross, hook, that that's going to work against anybody that you come across. You know what works? A finger jab, a shot to the throat, and an elbow to the temple. Don't throw out the more lethal techniques because learning closed fist striking is simpler. Remember why you're training. Remember who you're training for. And stay on that route. All right, that's it for today, folks. This is something I think is really important. So I rambled on a little longer than I normally do. But don't forget what the martial arts are about. Train hard, stay safe, and the most important thing always, always, always is please be kind to yourselves and each other. And I'll see you next time.